Good morning. Myself Ishang Jain, Assistant Professor in CSE Department. Now, today my topic is Introduction of Automata and Formal Languages. Basically, the automata is the system that performs some functions without any human intervention. The plural of automation is automata. The automata means we have any system that contain input from the user and perform some pre-processing and generate the output. The automata theory is the study of abstract computational machine and the computational problem that can be solving using these machines. Automata theory is basically deals with the how to compute the problem and how to solve any computational problem with the help of computational machine. Abstract machine are the mathematical models for the real computation. Abstract machine is the only way to solve the mathematical problems with the help of some mathematical models. Next is the automata consists of states and transitions. The state is represented by the circle and the transitions is represented by the arrow. It means the automata contain two things. Number one is states and second thing is transition. States are generally presented by the circles and the transition is represented by the arrow. Automata is the kind of machine which takes some string as input and this input goes through a finite number of states and may enter in the final state. Automata means we have an string that enter into the system and passes through a finite number of states and generate a final state and generate a final output string. These are some different types of automata: finite automata, push down automata, Turing machine, linear bounded automata. These devices have different recognition of different strings. Finite automata which have a finite number of memory used to recognize or string matching. Push down automata, devices with infinite memory that can be accessed in a restricted way. Third one is Turing machine, devices with infinite memory used to model any computer. Linear bounded automata, infinite memory but bounded running time. These are the some basic common terms used in automata such as alphabet. Alphabet is a finite non-empty set of symbols. This is the basic term that is used in automata, that is alphabet. Alphabet is also known as the symbol, a set of symbols that make a string. Alphabet is generally represented by sigma and alpha. This is some example of alpha. This is some example of sigma. Number one is 0,1 is a binary alphabet. Next is decimal alphabet. Next is lowercase alphabets. Second is string of word. A string of word is a finite sequence of symbols over a input alphabet sigma. For example, W is 1010 is a string of sigma 0,1. This indicate W1010 string contain only two digits 0 and 1. So the sigma contain only a two input alphabet 0 or 1. A string with zero occurrence of symbol is known as empty string. This is the important term. A string that has no symbol, that is known as empty string, and it is generally represented by epsilon. Next is length of a string. Length of a string, the number of symbols in a string. W is called the length of a string. Suppose you have 10 symbols, then the length of the string is denoted by W and the length is 10. Reverse of a string means the number of symbols are arranged in a reverse order is known as reverse of a string. It is represented by W ki power R. Suppose we have a string W X Y Z, then W of R means the reverse of a string is Z Y X. Next is substring of a string. Substring means it is a part, it is a some small part or it is some large part of any string. Suppose W is equal to XYZ and the substrings are epsilon, X, Y, XYZ, YZ, ZX and XYZ. These are the substrings of any given string. Next is prefix. Prefix of a string means generally the initial part, the prefix part of any string. Suppose W is equal to XYZ, then the prefix part is W, prefix part is epsilon, X, XY and XYZ. Suffix means the last part, the suffix part means the last part, means W is equal to XYZ, then the suffix is Z, YZ and XYZ. Next is what is language? Language means the set of string over a alphabet is called a language. Set of string means where many strings are combined into a one set, then this set is also called as language. Suppose this is the some examples. Suppose L1 means W is equal to 0, 1 ki power star. W has equal number of 0 and 1s. So we have make a string 0 1 1 0 double 0 double 1 because we have an condition W has equal number of zeros and equal number of ones. So when 1 0 is come, then 1 is come, then 2 0 is come, then double 1 is also come. Next is L2 is W is equal to 0, 1 where the length of W is less than or equal to 3. It means the length of the string is less or equal to 3, means epsilon 0 1 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 means the length of the string is not exceed 3. Next is Kleene closure. Kleene closure is represented by the sigma ki power star is the set of string of all possible length. Means sigma star is denoted by sigma ki power 0 union sigma ki power 1 union sigma ki power 2 union sigma ki power 3 up to so on. Suppose sigma is a comma b, then we have sigma ki power star epsilon a comma b, aa, bb, ba, double b, triple a, double b, any combination of a and b including epsilon. This another thing is that we have an star denote epsilon, means whenever the star will become, the epsilon will also be there. Next is positive closure. Positive closure is represented by sigma plus is the set of string of all possible length. Sigma plus equal to sigma ki power 1, sigma ki power 2, sigma ki power 3 up to so on. So this is an formula. You have seen that sigma star is equal to sigma ki power 0 plus sigma union sigma ki power plus. Suppose we have sigma a comma b, then sigma plus a comma b double a, ab, ba, double b, triple a, double a, b. It is a difference between sigma plus and sigma star. In sigma star we have an epsilon, but in sigma plus we don't have an epsilon. Next is grammar. Grammar. This is an important topic. Grammar. Grammar can be formally written as 4 tuples: capital N, capital T, capital S, capital P. These are the 4 main tuples of any grammar. N is the set of variable and the non-terminals. Capital T or sigma is a set of terminals. Hash is a special variable called the start symbol, and S is also belongs to N. P is the production rules for terminals and non-terminals. A production rules has the form of alpha tends to beta, where alpha and beta are the strings on Vn union sigma, and at least one symbol of alpha is belongs to Vn. It means grammar has 4 tuples N, T, S, P. Number 1 is N. N is the set of variables or non-terminals. Generally, it is denoted by capital letters. Second one is T or sigma is a set of terminal symbols, means terminal symbols is represented by the small letters. S is a special variable called start symbol. Start symbol means the grammar has to be started from this symbol, and it is also a non-terminal symbol. It is also a non-terminal symbol, not a terminal symbol. Production generally helpful in how to drive a string and how to generate a language. It is in the form of alpha tends to beta, where alpha and beta are the combinations of string or the combination of terminal and non-terminal, but alpha is on the left hand side, so it is at least one variable will be there. These are the some grammar G1. S, A, B are the non-terminals, A, B are the terminals, S is the start symbol, and S tends to AB, A tends to A, and B tends to B. These are the productions. Just we can see that this is the description of the grammar. Second grammar is also represent S, A are non-terminals, A, B are terminals, S is the start symbols, and these are the productions. Derivation of a grammar. A string may be derived from other string using the productions. Suppose we have to derive any string with the help of some productions, so we use a derivation of a grammar. If a grammar G has a production alpha tends to beta, or we can say that X alpha Y drives X beta Y in G. So we can written as X alpha Y drives X beta Y. This is the example. Suppose we have a grammar G2 that contain S, A are the non-terminals, A, B are the terminals, S is the start symbols, S, A, B, A tends to A, B, A tends to alpha. These are the production. Some of the strings can be derived. We have an example that we can derive some string from that particular grammar. Suppose we have also start with the start symbol, that is S, and S drives small a, capital A, small b. And we have some two production, A tends to small a, capital A, B, and A tends to alpha. We have put only non-terminal values, not a terminal values. So small capital A represent small a, capital A at B. So we have put the capital A value into this point. So we have this string AAB, and then we again put also a small capital A value AAB, and we have put A tends to epsilon on this location. Then we have derived this string. We can also derive another string with the help of these production, but we have also derived this type of string. Now, language generated by the grammar. The set of string that can be derived from a grammar is said to be the language generated from that grammar. A language generated by a grammar G is a subset of formally defined as L, G, W. W belongs to a sigma star that denotes to GW. And we have also a statement LG1 is equal to LG2. Then we can say that G1 is equivalent grammar to G2. Suppose this is the example. If a grammar, suppose G, these are the non-terminals, these are the terminals, these are the productions. Suppose S produce AB, then we can replace A by A and B by B. Then we can here only accept a string that is LG tends to AB. Suppose this is another example. These are the three non-terminals, these two are the terminals, these are the productions. Suppose we have to generate any grammar, then the grammar is, we have to put A value into this A and B value into this B, then we can see that this is the grammar generated by this particular production. Then we have a grammar A ki power B M then dot B ki power N, where M and N is greater than or equal to 1. This is some Chomsky classification of grammar. Chomsky has classified the grammar on the 4 types: type 0, type 1, type 2 and type 3. Type 3 grammar is known as regular grammar. Type 2 is known as context free grammar. Type 3 is known as context sensitive grammar, and type 1 is known as unrestricted grammar. This column represent this grammar except this type of languages. Regular grammar except regular languages. Context free grammar except context free languages. Context sensitive grammar represent context sensitive languages, and unrestricted grammar except recursive enumerable languages. And these are some automata that accept this type of grammar and this type of language. Type 3 grammar, regular grammar or regular language are accepted by the finite state automation. Context free grammar or context free language are accepted by the push down automation. Context sensitive grammar and context sensitive language are accepted by the linear bounded automation. Unrestricted grammar or recursive enumerable grammar that is accepted by the Turing machine. This is the diagram of Chomsky classification. Now type 3 grammar. Type 3 grammar generate a regular language. Type 3 grammar must have a single non-terminal on the left hand side. A right hand side consists of single terminal or single non-terminal followed by single terminal followed by a single non-terminal. These are some example of type 3 grammar. Is known as, there are 2 types of type 3 grammar: left linear grammar and right linear grammar. In right linear grammar, we can see that the non-terminals are on the right side, and left linear, the non-terminal are on the left side. This is the example of type 3 grammar. We can say that this is a right linear grammar. This is the type 2 grammar. The production must be in the form of alpha tends to beta, where alpha tends to a non-terminal and beta tends to T union n ki power star. This is the main condition where the left hand side must contain on a single variable. This is the example of type 2 grammar. Type 1 grammar. This is the production alpha tends to beta, where alpha tends to belongs to n, alpha beta tends to T union n ki power star. And these are the some rule that is also belongs to this grammar. Alpha and beta may be empty, but beta must not be empty. Or there is a rule, S tends to epsilon. Epsilon is allowed if S does not appear on the right side of any language. And right hand side, alpha is greater than, less than or equal to beta. This is the example of type 1 grammar. And this is the last type 0 grammar, that is known as recursively enumerable grammar. And this is the type of type 0 grammar.